duplicate this part. So this section just has a layer, work on a layer above this, and this is where it starts off. So again, taking the text tool, when you click, it'll automatically set its own setup for there. So just going ahead and typing in this part, go vote. So again, just grabbing it with the shift key to keep it in proportion. And this is the part where you're going to have the character play the most role. So again, you have the font, and if you type in Helvetica up at the top, it'll give you this bold font. It's not going to be identical to theirs, but you can try to search for that, just trying to get you the overall feel for this. So just kind of shift keying it out. And as you shift key this to try to find the spacing, you'll notice that the information or distance between the letters could be tightened up, and that's up at the top here in this section. If this isn't open, hiding options, showing options, and right in here it's the space. It's kerning and or tracking is what it's traditionally known as, so you can just simply place it across that section. It does all of them together. If you click within a couple of them, of the characters, it'll do it just for inside there, and the option with the arrow keys left or right will just expand the space that's in there. So it's just trying to get a bold font to just kind of figure out going through that section to change. So again, gives you that option, the options panel. If you click on it, it'll fill it with all of that entire color. Again, just highlighting it. It's trying to show also with the gradients. So as you go through this section, here's the gradient for that. So just clicking off of it so you can see how you can highlight this. The only trouble is you can't highlight and use the eyedrop tool or any of the tools because you'll start typing that letter, and so it'll come out with I. So it's just kind of, so you kind of have to actually select it. But again, it's trying to get you to think of the graphics for this one at least, how you would do it if you were the designer coming up for that type of a section. And once you have it, if you option and duplicate it, you can still go back in to all these fonts and check out and see, and hopefully some of these fonts will give their own characteristic if you see some of the options that they may or may not have. Okay, so it's trying to get you to think of that. So again, I'll just put the idea just to emphasize again, the serif is the little part, sans serif is down below, keeping that part out. Okay, so that's going to be that particular section. So just kind of setting it off, just grouping it together, and taking a look at this part again, just unlocking this and seeing about putting together this particular part. Okay, so this is trying to represent this button, and it just has a shape on top of it, which is easily adjusted. So this piece is on top, so just so you can see it. This one is below it, and possibility of putting it so that it has a flipped gradient. So this gradient, for example, when I click on it and have the gradient editor down here, this is the entire option for it. So let's see if we can unlock it first. And here it is as a radial, the first part, but you can make this as a linear gradient, and we've gone through this, so trying to use the annotator on the outside edge there. It could have this soft piece. You could make this with some of the effects and do the blurring, Gaussian blur, so you can kind of get some of these edges off to the side. Okay, and you can also just create it from scratch, the entire shape. So just trying to keep it a simple design. I'll set that up there. I can take this part, just ungroup it, and just option to set this over here so it has at least some of it. It's still editable text for this, and you can see that it is still the Google. So let's see about taking this one and just take out that. to see how it's highlighted. It already has the green, so I can just highlight this part. Remember, you have to select the color from there and give it the blue coloring. So here's the text tool, highlighting that piece. And that'll give you this part. So you don't actually see the O, but that's okay for now. Just kind of leave it set below here. And zoom in on this part. Instead of trying to do this at an angle, I'm going to try to set it up so that it has everything just straight away. So here's the circle, and just Command X to swap it out so I have the stroke going out to the outer edge. Okay. There's another circle, so I just deselect, let the Smart Guide help me locate the center, highlight this, and at this point, rather than turning anything, I'm just going to take a rectangle tool and try to manipulate it top to bottom. So here's an approximation for that. While it's still selected, I'm just going to take the Reflect tool and see if I can't reflect this down here. So here's the center of it. Trying to go Option and click. Now keep in mind there's some ruler guides, so I might set myself a ruler guide. Click on the circle and just drag this ruler guide right on the center there. So that'll help me get a distance to flip it from. Just Option and click. Take a preview of it, horizontal, and copy it. Okay, so there's this piece, kind of give it a different color so you can see it, and then just use the shape builder to grab all these, Shift key to grab them, the shape builder's right here, and just Option. Now I have those particular pieces all set. So here I can drop this one. And I drop this one here. So that gives me the top and the bottom, and then with the text again, it's a pretty large 100 points, so just drop it down. And it's in Helvetica, I'm just going to take it on regular, or even go light, and type in there, and take it. Now keep in mind this has been stretched out, so I'm going to go back and click on it to make it 100% here. I'm going to click on this so it's centered, and place it down there. So now I have this text, and all three of these items plus the outside circle I can just click on and go to the Align tool. Also they're up at the top, and make them go straight across that way. This outside one is going to be the one that has the fill. So I have some gradient. I have just a black and white gradient that I can use. Here's the image. Here's the annotator. So I can stretch it across and just go ahead and click on this again, trying to grab some of the lighter colors here. And just stretch these down. Drag the black right off of it. Place these down here. Swap this one so it goes up to the top. So right now that's the shading of this. However, I can take it from linear and try the radial and zoom out a little bit and create that gradient. Grab it from the part that allows me to move this and try to recreate the shading a little bit tighter up on this part. So here you can extend it. So it's trying to create this. And then the little annotators on the end make the color a little crisper on there. You can adjust the piece that way. This part I'm just going to group together. First I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. Grab all this, group this together. It's rotated a little bit. Okay, put this up here. And let's see. out just a little bit. Make sure I don't have everything selected there. Place that on there. That's already behind it. You can kind of see the spacing of this for this text, so I can take the text tool and come over to the side, and again use Option just to move this over, and I can select all of it, and in the type character palette just come down just a little bit, and that'll give me a way. So again, just kind of placing this over with the option. It's just moving the G, L, and the E over, and it places that piece in there. Okay. And let's see, double click on this, and try drop that to be blue. Let's see. Take the direct selection, just kind of return this to being the blue color. There we go. And this is isolation mode. Hide this graphic. And this part with this button, if I double click on this to take this outer edge, here's the stroke, and I can either make it a lighter gray so it kind of fits the image a little bit. And it is grouped together. Just move it so you can see it. And under Effect, Store, you have all these options that you can do, and you can give it a drop shadow. So let's see if I have it on there. Stylized drop shadow. Hit Preview, and this one you have to manipulate. Multiply lets it show through other items. X, Y, it's in pieces in here. I can minimize this down to 50. Click OK. Now I have this, these two graphics. Like that. So see if you can locate those pieces. So just kind of giving